Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 173 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, aka the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. The B-Man, I've had this image, the B-Man, I've had this video that I watched, I observed, I studied in my head for probably the past 6 months, at least since early summer. So we're talking in May, June. I watched this GIF. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but it was redGIF, right? That's what I do. Right? I go to Reddit when I'm not gooning, when I'm just having regular, a late night. I'm a late night guy. I'm not one of these guys who does their business in the morning before commuting to work, because I work from home. So I like to do it at night, clean up, and then I go right to bed. But which is odd, because wanking it, right, hawking my dick loogie does not make me tired, but it actually energizes me. I'm not one of these guys who just falls asleep, just turtles up and starts to. No, I'm up. Let's have a deep conversation. Anyways, that's not what this is about. So as I go to, but my weeknight dick loogie rituals, I go to Reddit. I have some subreddits I subscribe to. That's why I cannot open up Reddit in public, because I may be arrested for that. But then I find GIFs that I like, and then I go to redGIFs that has it, and then that has sound, and then I go to that person's all their redGIFs, because sometimes they're similar. Anyways, I found this redGIF, and I it's one of those things. I watched it. It stuck with me. I thought I would mention it somewhere periodically as a throwaway comment on this project that is Verbal Graffiti, but it's lingered in my head. I won't say it's fermented, because I really haven't I haven't done anything with it. It hasn't grown into anything, but it stays there. And I realized, this isn't just a one-off comment and keep the episode going. I gotta focus on this for an opening segment. So let me. As many of you know, I'm vanilla. Vanilla is my skin. I'm a conservative man, right? I don't need, right? I don't need slave. I don't whips and chains. I don't need any slave utensils to get off. For me, I'm fine with missionary with jigglers. So I'm watching the scene. It's POV. That's point of view. It's not. I actually like to see both partners, because I like to see the eye contact between the two, because again, the B-Man, I'm a lover. It is when I'm just seeing the woman, or sorry, the babe or the performer, like, it's nice, but I like to see the man, like, I like to see two of them together, right? Is like, all right. Get to the point, man. Get to the point. Anyways, so it's a white lady, leg spread, missionary, POV, big jigglers. She's moaning. She's got the facial expressions. And if you know anything about GIFs, especially the redGIFs, they're no longer than a minute. And this video must have been 45 seconds to 60 seconds long. And the entire video, up until the last 5 seconds, was very vanilla. Some probably wouldn't even call it smut. This was almost... It certainly was not PG-13, because, the boobs and the pubic insertion, you can see it all. But porn in the year 2025, this was barely porn, but it was porn. Anyway, so she's getting dick down, piped, railed out, her insides rearranged, whatever terminology you want to use. But it's just straight missionary. She's moaning, the facial expression, the hair's on the pillow, they're on the bed. This could have been they could have been fucking after a night out on the town, or maybe after watching a movie on the couch downstairs, or maybe it was their first time making love after a first date, after a couple of drinks, or maybe it's friends with benefits. It is what it is. It is what it is. There was no prep needed for this sex being done. It was like, hey, make out, a little bit of foreplay, close off, POV, get the camera on. Like there was no toys, no lube, nothing. It was just regular missionary, basic as all basic goes for the smut. And that's just what it is. And that's kind of what I like. So I'm watching it. And I have no intention on hawking my dick loogie to this particular GIF. Again, this was one I watch in passing to find. Like this is just a journey. All right, this is just a GIF on the this is a GIF I watch and enjoy on the journey to a GIF that I'm going to get my dick loogie to, that I have not found yet. Like, this is a prepper. This is a fluffer of a GIF for the B-Man. Like, I'm stroking, I'm getting Mr. Perfect, I'm getting him, he's not super hard, but, he's involved. He's involved, but he's not going to try to score with this particular GIF. And it was just beautiful. It was just, on the bed, she's on her back, the jigglers are bouncing, all that. And then the last 5 seconds of the GIF, the guy, which I don't see his face, it's POV, so I see his arms, it's around her waist or on her thighs. Okay, all right. This is the first 5 GIFs I watched before I start getting serious and trying to find a GIF to hawk my dick loogie to. But then the last 5 seconds of the GIF, the right hand, his right hand just slaps her jiggler, slaps her left boob with force. Look, I want to reiterate. Like, it was a slap. It was almost like a knockout. Like, it wasn't a slap to hurt her. It was just a very dominant, hey, I'm here. And he just slapped her boob. And the slap sound and the look on her face as soon as he did it was like she was kind of shocked that he did it. But it wasn't anger. It was not anger. It was almost, oh, I didn't know you had that in you. And nor did I, as a spectator from my bedroom, the screen. I did not expect that slap. And that has just been ingrained in that filthy gutter mind of mine since I saw it. It was very similar to a UFC knockout in the last round. With just final seconds, they're in the middle of the cage, they're swinging, and a boom, someone hits, falls down, bell rings, the referee stops. That's what this was. Now, obviously not as violent, but as just memorable and as shocking as the UFC knockout. It was just a slap, and it was a slap where they probably continue to fuck because he didn't bust, so they continue to fuck. It's the type of slap where she probably didn't mention it to him while they probably weren't cuddling afterwards because, again, it was a professional scene. But let's imagine this was reality, because that's what porn is. Imagine it's reality. It's the type of slap where the next morning or the next afternoon, like she calls or texts or in the group chat with her girlfriends. You're never gonna guess what my man did to me last night. And then all the girlfriends go, what do you do? Like, he slapped my boob. And then all these question mark emojis and what? Like, we need a conference call. And yeah, we were just doing straight missionary vanilla, and he slapped my left tit with force, or with something behind it to let me know that he wanted me to feel it, not to be hurt, but enough where I feel it, and I felt it across the screen. Like, I wasn't the one being slapped. But when I saw that slap, and I was shocked. I was shocked when that happened. And I hawked my dick loogie to it. I rewatched it a few more times just to make sure I saw what I saw in instant replay. And it just, that's all it takes. Sometimes when you're watching smut, And then you think you need something crazy. And sometimes just, straight by the book, and there's something, just a hand out of nowhere, just comes and gives you the business is enough to be aghast and to get your dick loogie to. And it's ingrained in my memory. And I've seen honestly, verbal graffiti. We've seen GIFs and videos and books and scenes that are much more hardcore than that. But sometimes you don't need to go, like you know where like the line is? It's not like you need to go to the line every time where like you're choking someone to the point where like she's purple and you got to use a fancy, like a safe word. Sometimes you just pull back and you stay very tame. Then you do something that's barely not tame at all. But since you're being so tame, like it almost feels like you've gone past the line when you're really like, the line isn't even within sight. That's how far you are from it. But I love the way he played that as the male performer there. I'm gonna go vanilla. I'm gonna go business like, but I'm gonna give you the business with this hand, and it's gonna be memorable. I like that. All right, moving along. This comes from the subreddit, Women in Tech. Married men in tech obsessed with single girls at work. Has anyone came across people that you work with where married men who are late 40s or early 50s are obsessed with single girls, women? Babes? Patterns. Try to be around your desk all the time. Take breaks at the same time as you do by following Microsoft Teams status. Try to stand beside you during stand-up meetings. Park their car near you. React when you decline Teams lunch. Why are they married when they cannot be obsessed with their legal wife? ? I believe it was a great, maybe the best of all time comedian, Patrice O'Neal, God rest his lovely soul, who said, a vagina ages like a loaf of bread, not like fine wine. That's prophetic right there. That is there may have never been a truer statement or analogy ever said in the history of comedy or philosophy. And that's the truth. Like these esteemed employees of yours who are in their late 40s, in their late 50s, probably are also married to women, babes, that are also in their late 40s and their late 50s. And like Patrice O'Neal so eloquently said, their wives' vaginas are a crusty loaf of bread, not fine wine. They're in their 50s. These wives of theirs, right? They have soft skin, saggy boobs, stretch marks, wrinkles. They're starting to smell. They don't have any pheromones. They don't smell like a woman, a babe anymore. They're just, their faces are melting off day by day. It's worse and worse. It's doughy. It's like these esteemed employees of yours, they get no excitement at the sight of their wives anymore, who they most likely have been married to at this point for 20 plus years. Like when the wife comes out of the bathroom and the towel like accidentally slips off, like they don't get excited to see their wives, naked in front of them. If anything, they probably they get a little cringe, like, oh, I'm married to that. I'm married to that person, that body. That's why, like, they get no excitement from their wife anymore. And the only reason why they stay with their wife is because of the pressure that they get from society, their family, their church, their community, their employers, to their obligations to the family and the wife and the kids, and you have to understand, which is impossible for you to understand because again, you're a 25-year-old female babe employee in tech. Is like, well, actually, let me say this, like I know I just hated on their wives, the esteemed employees' wives, but the husbands who you work with, who are coworkers with, they ain't any better. They're in their late 40s, mid 50s. They got a wrinkly face. They got gray hair. They got a beer belly. They have hair coming out of their ears. They have coffee breath. They have no sense of fashion. They smell like old man, like musty old man. They probably still wear Old Spice deodorant. There's no sex appeal to them. They're grotesque. That's why them lingering around you, the attractive 25-year-old, that's why it's disturbing you. If these gentlemen, these esteemed employees of yours, if they were in their late 40s and 50s, but they had their shit together and the broad chest and still had good hair and nice cologne and white teeth and you know, they had that aura to them, like it wouldn't bother you if they kept asking you to go to lunch. But I suspect these employees, they're gremlins and they're hunched over and you know they wear khakis and that's why like they're giving you the ick. So like the husbands and the wives get the ick, right. So that's why these employees bother you so much. It's because they're ugly and you're not, and you don't want to be surrounded by ugly when you're just trying to do your work, get your paycheck, and go to your hang out with your attractives after work, after hours. But see, the thing that's impossible for you to understand is that these esteemed employees in your office who are in their late 40s and 50s, they've entered no man's land. Right? And that's impossible for you as a 25-year-old to really have empathy for their predicament in life, or even to understand what that particular stage of life is. They're 50 years old, or wherever they're at career-wise, they ain't getting any higher. Right? They ain't changing careers anymore. They're 50. They're locked into their 401k. Right? They're married. Their wife's just a mushy bag of mashed potatoes. They got 2 or 3 kids, none of which have any athletic ability. Their IQs are nothing special. They got a burden of a mortgage. They probably have 20 more years on the mortgage. So they got all the stress to provide for this family. Their wife is a bag of mashed potatoes. The kids, they're not going to do anything special with their lives. They still got the mortgage they got to pay off. Their career has come to a standstill. They're still, 10, 20 years away from being an empty nester and being able to enjoy retirement. And yet, the days of youth, of being young, of being 25, that was a lifetime ago for these esteemed employees of yours. They can't even remember what it was like to be 25, to go to work, to be able to have a couple shots and hook up and make out and know the bartender's name and go out for happy hour and enjoy, go dance and go see some trendy band that somebody in the office knows about. Like that stage of life, like they had, but they've forgotten about it because it was so long ago. That's what I mean when I say these esteemed employees of yours are living in no man's land. Like retirement, is far away, and youth is far gone. And they're just stuck there with no more excitement in life. And really what you provide, it's a last ember of excitement, of womanhood. Like, there's something. How shall I say this? Because this is very profound what I'm about to say about these esteemed employees of yours. That you, as a babe, as a 25-year-old, it's impossible for you to comprehend what I'm about to comprehend what I'm about to say, what I'm about to profess. These esteemed employees of yours will never get to experience new pussy ever again the rest of your life, their lives. Like you said, they're married. They're bored of fucking their wives. Right? They're ugly. Their wives are ugly. And they're probably faithful, so they're not going to cheat on their wives. So like that old loaf of bread vagina that they're fucking, that's the vagina they're going to have the rest of their lives. And when you realize, when you come to grips and accept the fact that you're never going to get any more new pussy when you're late 30s, late 50s, and it comes to you like, wow, it might be another 20, 30, 40 years I have to live without new pussy, that's heavy. That's heavy. And that's a difficult. It's difficult for men to accept that. It's a reason why the suicide rates are so high. Because when it comes to, wow, I think new pussy is never going to come for me ever again. I'm never going to get that. Like having that burden on your shoulders, it makes life dull. And you're the next best thing to new pussy for these men, to be frank with you. Like that's what, you're the last ember in the fire of life for these men. Like they're never going to get new pussy. They're bored of their wives. Their wives are bored with them. There's no, the butterflies, the Disney, that's gone. That is gone. So when they wake up every morning, they have their cup of joe, smoke their cig, scroll through their phone, maybe they shower. The only thing they look forward to that day is seeing you. Now, you could call them a creep. You could call them perverts. But can you blame them? Can you blame them? Like their wife wants nothing to do with them. So all they have in life is being in your presence. And it's really that's all it is to it. Like you are the best part of their day. So that's why they park next to you. That's why they want to have lunch with you. That's why they want to stand beside you and be able to smell the pheromones of 25. It's not you. It's just a 25-year-old. But it happens to be you. So are they crossing boundaries, making you feel uncomfortable? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Like personally, to be man, like I would keep my distance. I wouldn't ask you out to lunch. I would, like if you wore a low-cut top or like something a bit revealing, or you had your hair up, I would take an image of it, mental image, use it and wink and hawk my dick loogie to the image of you in the privacy of my own home, bedroom, later after hours. But again, I'm only 41. When I'm 55, like maybe I'll be as desperate as these men and be trying to go to lunch with you. So these guys, like their lives are over. They're in no man's land. And just the mere sight, the mere smell, the mere just hearing your voice, like that's all they have. Having a conversation with you, you don't understand how that will get them through another week in their miserable, invisible life. So, again, you're 25. You can't, it's impossible for you to grasp like the situation these esteemed employees of yours are in. And the only thing else I can say is to any, I don't like how these guys are following you via the parking next to you and the meetings where they want to stand next to you. Like, it, I'm not going to chastise them for it. I'm not going to applaud them for it either. What I will chastise them for is like monitoring you via Microsoft Teams. They can fuck off with that. And I'm serious when I say it's not just them, it's anybody. If you have a coworker who's monitoring your status via Microsoft Teams, that person's got to go choke on a graham cracker. Like go get a life. Go get a life if you're doing that. Do your work. I'll do my work. I ain't following your status. Don't follow mine. We are adults. We are adults. Mind your own fucking business. I think I'm going to have a short video for the intermission here. So if you're listening to this via podcast, go to any of my social media, Brian Glass Comic on Instagram and X and TikTok, or Verbal Graffiti, and I will have that video short. I went on a date and I recorded it. I put it all together. So I think I'm going to put it in this episode. Hopefully I finished the editing by now, and go watch it there. But for the rest of you, enjoy the date I went on.
Make a Coke bottle, give me brain till I think better. Back up on my again, hanging out with Benjamin. Franklin got me stankin' in the Lincoln, talking dividends. Look at what we did again. Brought the water dipping in. Down in Texas on them elbows, where your digits been. All these I can smell it through the audio. Lapping everybody, got me working on my cardio. Party over daddy home, creeping out the caddy comb. Straight from underground.
Hey, Rachel, it's Brian. Are you still up? Yeah, I think it's like 2 a.m. I'm at a diner in Berlin, I think. Hey, I was just wondering, earlier tonight when we were at the concert, why did you run out on me so early? What? Of course I was drinking before I met you. It was a first date. Like, who doesn't drink before a date? Yeah, okay, I'll admit, I tried to put my hand up your skirt, but again, you were looking good, and it was a first date. What else did you expect from the B-man? Is it possible we could do a redo and meet up for a date next week, maybe? No? Okay, Rachel, before you go, I know you never want to see me again, but I don't have any money on me, and I gotta order a French fries. Is it possible you could Venmo me 10, 20 bucks maybe, and we'll call it even? Hello, Rachel? How the fuck am I going to pay for these fries? The B-Man feels obligated to give you an update on the date that I had with Rachel. It did not go as well as I thought it would have or could have. I have reached out to Rachel several times with very long text messages and audio messages. She is yet to respond. I'm going to keep trying because I'm the B-Man. I mean, I have 173 episodes of Verbal Graffiti with barely any viewership. So I am somebody who I keep going. I keep going. I will keep reaching out to Rachel until she tells me not to. Again, I got tickets to a concert. We went in. She left real quick, ran away from me. Did I drink a little too much beforehand? Maybe. Who can say? Who can really say? But I enjoyed her company. I sensed that she enjoyed me. She enjoyed the B-Man and the aura that I was giving off. So, but that's the update. The update is there is no update. There is yet to be a second date. I'm hopeful that there will be a second date with Rachel and a burgeoning dalliance at the least, a long life together at the most. I'm hopeful. What is Rachel? I don't know. She won't respond to me. That first segment went very long. And again, thank you for watching the first segment and that little video that I made. And so let's keep it moving. This one is a little bit more somber. This comes from the subreddit Grief Support. I'll put the photo right here. I lost my sweet younger sister to suicide. 6/26/25. Would be her 27th birthday, heart emoji. I love you, Anna! Exclamation point. And there is the lovely Anna. It's somber. You know what? Similar to my date, imaginary date that is with Rachel. A suicide is serious business. Maybe business is not the right word to use. It's a serious epidemic. Like there's a lot of them today. I just found out a couple days ago. My mom's neighbor told my mom. Sorry. Our neighbor. All right, get the tree together. We have a neighbor who told my mom, who told me that there's somebody the next street over from us who attempted a suicide this past weekend. Thankfully, or I don't. Well, it wasn't successful. So I guess we're thankful of that. I've had extended family members who have attempted suicide. Some successful, some still alive. So not successful. I know people who've committed suicide. I know at least 2 people, maybe 3. That have worked at the suicide prevention hotline. And oddly enough, the 2 people I know who have worked at the suicide hotline should not have worked at the suicide hotline. Those 2 people were the type of individuals you look at and you know, and you would suspect, those are the 2 that need to call the suicide hotline. But again, I don't blame them because how much do you make if you're one of the callers at the suicide hotline? You probably make $20 an hour at most. So you're not going to get a highly qualified individual to talk you off the ledge. Maybe even that's, you get a script. You read the script. You're not going to get someone with a PhD or multiple degrees in social psychology. Like you're just dealing with a bum ass guy who needs a job. So he works at the suicide hotline. But suicide is with that preamble out of the way, like suicide is a serious. It's an epidemic. We all know somebody who's committed suicide. So condolences to you, and I hope you're grieving. I hope you get through this difficult time. And we mean that. All of us here at Verbal Graffiti. I know we laugh and we joke, but, we've all had loved ones or know loved ones who have had loved ones who have tried to commit suicide. So we hope she lives, or not that she lives, but that you're able to live with the grief that you have and have a prosperous life and live in your younger sister's honor. I look at your sister and, it's a shame. It's a shame because she's beautiful. I mean, look, she's a beautiful babe. I would love to sniff her panties. And I mean that I mean that sincerely. That is the ultimate compliment I could give a babe is that I'd love to sniff her panties. But that will never happen because she's dead. I look at her, like, honestly, if you had an incestuous, if you had a love, I can't say that word. So if you had a loving relation, like a physical relationship with your now deceased sister, I wouldn't blame you. No judgment from me to you. Now others might, but I wouldn't. But all jokes aside, man, it's a shame that she killed herself so early on in life. 27 is young. It's young. I look at her and, I'm assuming she looks physically fit, physically well. So I'm going to make the assumption, whether it's right or not, that it's probably she had some mental issues that were causing her, mental pain, so much so that she thought it might be better to off herself. So I'm just sincerely hoping that she's in a better place now, wherever that may be, heaven or, whatever it is she believes in. And, this gets me thinking of something I've been pondering of late. In our society, American Western culture today, we think it's best to live to old age, to die of natural causes, when you're 70, 80, 100 years old. And that's a standard operation. Unless you die of something tragic, like, hey, live to old age, have a family, have grandkids, retirement, the whole jazz, the whole nine. But there have been civilizations of the past where that was almost looked frowned upon. Like, oh, you live to old age? Like, there were warrior civilizations, where it was honorable to die young, to die for a cause, to die for something you believe in while you're fighting for it in battle. And when you die in battle for your country or your family or your God or your community, that was honorable. And you have one death. They make something of it. And there's something, I don't know. I don't know which ones, like I respect that point of view. What does that mean? The B-Man. Oh, the B-Man from Verbal Graffiti, a stand-up comedian. What does it mean that I respect it? Nothing. But I do. Like, I can understand, I could wrap my weird mind around that logic of death. It's like, well, we're all going to die. So you might as well die fighting for something you believe in or for people that you love, rather than just having yourself wither away year after year till your heart stops beating because of old age and malfunctions, and you fall to your death, hit your head, and start bleeding. So there is something to be said, and I don't know what it is to say, but when you take your own life, like, it might be an honorable thing you're doing. There's some bravery in doing that. Like, I know I do not have the balls to kill myself. I've never really ever been suicidal. There have been times when I've had thoughts, but not like real thoughts. And I'm always worried that I put the rifle to my head and like the bullet would go through, but not like all the way through, and then I'd still be alive, but just not being able to be mobile the rest of my life. So taking your life in your own hands, while it's tragic, there is a little bit of oomph, honor, a little bravery to doing so. So maybe, what I would like to do is maybe I would like for you to do for your younger sisters, have a bench with like a little memorial. I like to do that. I go to benches if there's a name with the date, like, the tombstone dates of, born 1980, died 2005, loving sister, loving daughter, loving wife, all that. The little plaque they put on the benches. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll look that name up on Google. So I would like to sit on the bench, see your sister Anna, her little write-up, look up and have a little write-up of her life and who she was and what she was about. That's what I would like. That's what I think you should do. But again, I don't know either of you. And who the fuck am I? I'm the B-man. But I do look at I do like to read those benchmarks and see what was going on in that life. Maybe I'm weird like that. But what else there's something else I wanted to say. She died. It's tragic. Oh, but she died at 27. I mean, at that point, or she offed herself at 27. I mean, you could take solace in the fact that she got to live her best years. And really, after 27, your best years are behind you. Very few people's lives get better after 27. Maybe you have a family and you love your kids, but chances are your kids are going to be little pieces of shit and not respect you and not do anything with their lives. And they're just going to be trouble for you and everybody else in society. But for most people, 27, that's when you start to get wrinkles, you get soft, saggy, gray hairs. Once you get your first gray pubic hair is when you should consider offing yourself. Now, you shouldn't do so, hopefully, but we would all be lying. You see that first gray pubic hair and you go, this it? That you really got to reflect on life and whether you want to go forward. I've decided to go forward. Hopefully, all you have as well. But really, once you hit 27, mid-20s, it's a slow death. Each day, we're dying. That's what we're doing. Your sister Anna, your lovely sister Anna, she took her life in her own hands, literally. But the rest of us, we're slowly dying each day. Each day, one more wrinkle, one more gray hair, one more pound of fat. What else do you have to look forward to after the age of 27? You get old, creaky, wrinkles, gingivitis, ageism. You get cancer. You need a hip replacement. You get laid off. You don't have enough money for retirement. You become invisible. You're not keeping up with inflation. Like each day is just worse than the last. So be happy that your younger sister got to live her young life and doesn't have to deal with the backside of life and all the misery and drudgery that post 27 provides for all of us that make it that far. So that's what I got for you. Go suck a fat one.